Falcons in the white uniforms attacking the basket on the right-hand side of the screen, and the West End 36ers in the red, who come away with the ball from that opening tip. And this is a replay of last week's game. Andrew Kay.
Yes, good evening, Lynn. Just 2 weeks ago, the 36ers beat Newcastle by 2 points at Newcastle as Mark Davis takes the first shot of the game and makes 2 points. So the West End 36ers off to a good start.
Yes, the Sixers need to get away to a good start. There was only 2 points in it. There's a big shot from outside from Michael Johnson.
One of the up-and-coming players of Australian basketball, Michael Johnson, had a big game last weekend. Now Daryl Pearce with the head guard to protect that fractured cheekbone. Pass from Ally goes astray, but Bill Jones recovers. Al Green looking for the shot. Beg your pardon, Davis. Back to Pearce, and Pearce, headgear or no headgear, makes the basket.
Pearce is certainly playing with a lot of confidence. That takes the 36ers to 4, leading the Falcons 2. As the Falcons running into some offence. Expatriate South Australians in this Falcons team. Steve Johansson, the coach, former assistant coach to Ken Cole with the 36ers last year, and the referee having a few ordering off the South Australian mascot, the Piping Shrike, effectively holding up that 36ers fast break.
Well, I'm sure that's the first time Ian Turner has ever made a call on a bird, apart from women's basketball. Back to the action now, and it's Al Green to Ally. Ally in the starting 5 makes the shot. Yes, a good shot from Peter Ally. Couldn't decide whether the ball wanted to go in or not. Eventually it did go in. So it's the West End 36ers 6, leading the Newcastle Falcons 2.
So it's the Sixers in a man-to-man defence. There's the cut underneath from Johnson, but he didn't get the ball. And that's Wayne McDaniel back to Johnson as they bust in underneath. Rebellion with a nice handoff to Moran. But a top block there by Mark Davis. He just came out of nowhere. And that's the strength of the 36ers with Davis and Jones on the boards.
Certainly Davis and Jones have been in outstanding form all year, and there's Jones putting up the shot. They must be shooting a tremendous percentage early on in this game, the West End 36ers. They now lead 8-2. But don't underestimate this Newcastle side. They're a good side. That starting 5 is an excellent lineup. Wayne McDaniel, Ricky Simpson with the ball now, sells the dummy, puts the shot up but misses. Daryl Pearce with a fast break now to Al Green, who decides to go all the way and makes it. So the West End 36ers in a repeat performance against Canberra. They got away to a great start. Al Green, you see, gets the pass there from Pearce, decides to drive all the way, just puts the ball up, and there's nothing the Newcastle defence can do about it, and the 2 points go on the scoreboard. In the meantime, a foul has been called.
Al Green picks up his first foul of the day. As Ian Rebellion looks to throw the ball in, and it's the Falcons in offence. And they're looking to throw that ball into Rebellion, who cuts it through the middle of the key. The difference in the team so far is that the Falcons are attacking, being forced to shoot from quite a bit, a long way out, whereas the Sixers have been able to get a shot fairly close to the basket. 3-second call by Greg Love. Referee Greg Love says Falcons, Wayne McDaniel camped in the key too long. So it's the 36ers into offence, leading 10-2.
Good start by the 36ers as Pearce gives the ball off to Ally. Peter Ally, lovely touch so far tonight. That's his second basket of the night. And the 36ers scoot away now, 12 points to 2, with 9 minutes to go in the first quarter.
And that's 100% shooting from outside by the 36ers.
Good shot there from Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson, an excellent player, an Australian player, will be heading off to the World Championships shortly. Very good player for Newcastle. But it's back with the 36ers now. Billy Jones to Davis, looking for the pass. Loses it though, and the ball comes out to Johnson. So a turnover there. Ricky Simpson, the long pass, a good pass to Ian Rebellion, but not a good shot. Bill Jones takes an unbelievable one-handed rebound. And so once again, it's the West End 36ers in attack, and this time the foul called on Ricky Simpson.
Al Green looks to drive. You notice that he just takes the ball in nice and soft. Quick change of direction, change of speed, drives all the way to the basket. Ricky Simpson, off balance, forced to run into Al Green, and the referee called the holding foul, which was quite right.
Back to the action now. It's Green with the ball from the side to Jones. Capacity crowd again. the 5th one of the season. Every home game has been a capacity crowd so far. Davis drives, but a lovely smother there from McDaniel. But Newcastle unfortunately lose the ball. Rebellion couldn't save it on the sidelines, and so the West End 36ers, who were virtually heading for their second turnover, in fact they lose it again. So some errors creeping in as Rebellion gets the long pass, drives all the way, and there's nothing Bill Jones can do about it. Ian Rebellion scores 2 points for the Newcastle Falcons. 12 points to 6 now, the West End 36ers lead.
And I guess the number of turnovers could be a worry for the 36ers. Daryl Pearce fires up a three-pointer. The number of turnovers, you just can't afford to throw the ball away. It just gives the other team too many more opportunities to come down into offence. But good defence by the Sixers as they force the Falcons outside. There's Rebellion. He keeps cutting in underneath through that keyway, but can't get the ball. He's being very well guarded there by Eli, as Eli takes attempts to take the charge. But Ian Rebellion, just a nice move, really well balanced. After Eli fell over, Rebellion was able to regain his composure and make that shot look relatively easy.
It's good play by Newcastle there, and once again there, another turnover to the Adelaide team as Pearce's pass to Billy Jones was way offline. So Newcastle now, after a tentative opening, looking to bridge this gap as the shot comes up from Johnson, but he misses. Ally takes the rebound down to Green. Ally copped one in the head in the meantime. Green drives all the way, and great basket.
What a superb move, Al Green. He is just so quick. Change direction, across he goes with the right hand, and then changes the shot back to the left hand as he just rolls it in nice as you like off the glass. Superb drive, Al Green.
Now the holding foul called on Wayne McDaniel. Referee Ian Turner making the call. The West End 36ers will take the ball from the side. The home side leading 14-8. 6.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Al Green with the ball, sporting a new haircut, if you could call it a haircut. He has almost none left, but he has plenty of ability as he scores a lovely three-pointer. And the West End 36ers now 17 to Newcastle Falcons 8.
And the Falcons don't have any answer to the 36ers when they play from outside. Their shooting's just so good from outside, but the 36ers turning the ball over when they try to go in close.
Bad luck for Ricky Simpson there. A good effort. He certainly got his hands to the ball, but he just didn't hold the mark, and he slipped on the come down, and the ball will be now taken by Daryl Pearce for the West End 36ers.
From the foul line, Bill Jones, he's been free most of the night on that foul line area. The defence can't afford to shrink off because Bill Jones has been hitting a very good percentage in and around that area.
Isn't there a fantastic change, Lynn, between last year when Jones did great work in defence but very rarely scored a lot of points? This year he's been doing it both ends. As a holding foul this time called. Trying to work out who it's on. It's on Daryl Pearce, in fact, as Ricky Simpson tried to drive all the way. Daryl Pearce just flung out the arm and caught hold of Simpson. So it's Ricky Simpson on the foul line. Of course, most South Australians would remember Ricky Simpson, having played here for Noarlunga, and a very good player. A few familiar faces out there for the Newcastle side. Ricky Simpson, number 9 on the foul line. Wayne McDaniel, also a former Noarlunga player and an exciting player. Simpson with the second shot and makes it. So Newcastle move to 9, 10 points behind.
Full court press,
full court press, and then straight away Newcastle get results as Wayne McDaniel intercepts. Johnson to Moran, the first touch for the ball, with 3 seconds called by referee Ian Turner.
And this is where the 36ers have shown a weakness. Canberra threw the full court press on, and the 36ers were forced into a few turnovers. Falcons put the first press of the night on, and a quick error inside the green, and 3 seconds called again. So the few errors creeping into this game.
Bad defence there by the 36ers, but they get away with it as the shot is blocked on the ring. I think the Newcastle player, Jim Moran, was calling for basket tending, but it's Jones now who decides to go all the way, but misses, but follows up with the rebound, misses with the second shot, and now it's the Newcastle side's turn as the pass goes to McDaniel, drives all the way, misses. The ball comes out to Ricky Simpson, lovely leap and a lovely basket.
Gee, Ricky Simpson's got a very high jump. Nice balance as he leaps very high in the air to get that jump shot away.
Certainly not a big player, not a tall player, Ricky Simpson, but a lovely shot as Pearce puts one up and misses. Rebound comes to Moran, but he loses and eventually comes out to Simpson. And Newcastle racing this ball into attack. Johnson the shot, and a lovely shot from Michael Johnson this time. So that's Michael Johnson's 6th point for the ball game, with the West End 36ers 19, now only a lead of 6 points over the Newcastle Falcons.
Well, a couple of errors from the 36ers that let the Falcons back in. All of a sudden the Falcons have got a lot more confidence, and yet another 3-second call. That's big Mark Davis was camping inside. Coach Ken Cole for the 36ers up, not too happy with his players making as many errors.
Now the West End 36ers really adding up the turnovers as Al Green pulls in a big rebound and decides to bring the ball down himself. He has Pearce clear and now eventually gives him the ball. Pearce sells a dummy that looks for someone to give it to. Jones follows in, but there's no score as the 3-second is called again on Mark Davis.
Well, it must be the night for 3-second calls, Andrew.
Well, that must be the 4th one we've had in the last couple of minutes. We're still in the first quarter, still 3 minutes and 40 seconds to play. As Newcastle look to set it up again, McDaniel almost takes the shot, now dummies with a dribble, and decides to lay it up. A lovely basket by Wayne McDaniel. Certainly a prolific scorer all year for the Newcastle side.
And suddenly the Falcons are getting free in and around the foul line area.
Bad luck for Peter Alli, but the ball comes out to Mark Davis. The coach screaming to set it up again. Pearce almost loses possession. Good attempt from Rebilliard. Jones calls for it, gets out of the key. Alli makes the shot. Lovely shot, Peter Alli. Peter Alli scored 6 points now for the West End 36ers. 21 they lead to Newcastle 15.
And the Falcons shooting 40% from the floor. The 36ers are shooting 81. And there's been 5 turnovers to the 36ers as a Ricky Simpson with a superb drive. He went all the way through the middle there and the defence just sat back and watched him. But a superb individual effort there by Ricky Simpson to take his team to 17. And they trail by 4 points now with the 36ers on 21. But there has been a foul called. Bill Jones there waiting to see what has happened. And a substitution as Mike Mackay comes into the game for the 36ers, replacing Peter Alli, and Ray Wood comes in replacing Darryl Pearce.
Darryl Pearce having a rest, still recovering from that fractured cheek. Oh, it does Ray Wood. Ricky Simpson came away with the ball, but Wood just took it off him. And Ray Wood, one of the best defensive players in the country, been around for a long time, Ray Wood, now looking to set it up. Gives it to Mike Mackay, the most rookie of the year last year, Mike Mackay. A shocking knee injury over the summer months. It's starting to run into some form now. As Al Green goes with a long pass, not the best pass, but Jones saves. No, but it comes down to Ricky Simpson and a bad foul there on Mike Mackay. Newcastle side looking for the advantage rule, but it's the wrong game.
And Mackay not quite making position. There's the loose ball. Mackay's there. Didn't quite make good defensive position, threw out the knee, and referee Greg Love made the correct decision in saying it was a holding foul on Mike Mackay. But that effectively prevented the fast break. And Paul Hyland, an expatriate South Australian, number 6 with the ball for the Falcons. As Matheny into the game for the first time. Johnson with a spin. There's the fast break. Nice pass there from Bill Jones, from Mark Davis. He throws a long pass to Al Green. Al Green finishing it off, and the crowd really respect that piece of play.
So Al Green had to do it the hard way there, had to come over the top of Johnson. Just turned around, Johnson lost his balance, and the only thing Green had to do then was dunk the ball. There's a couple of mistakes there, but the ball eventually comes out to Matheny. He's just come onto the court, looks a mean brute of a player, Buster Matheny, and scores for Newcastle. So only 4 points the difference now after the West End 36 has got a 10-point break. The foul called on Wayne McDaniel, a holding foul.
It's always very difficult for a referee in that situation because the screen is set at the top for the player to cut down underneath. And the object, of course, is to wipe your defensive man off on the screen. Sometimes the defence has to do a little bit of pushing and shoving to try and get through.
This shaping as a very close contest now. 23-19, the West End 36ers lead as Mike Mackay takes the shot and makes the shot. So he'd be happy with his form so far in the minute or so he's been on the court, but now it's Highland trying to set it up for Newcastle. To McDaniel, Matheny wondering what to do, decides to go out to Simpson. Now a foul called on Mark Davis, doesn't believe it.
That's an unusual situation. You've got two guys there both pushing for position. Wayne McDaniel was backing into Davis there. Davis was just as determined to hold him out. So the referee has sort of picked up one thing and away it went. And McDaniel,
lovely work by Davis. Now the 36 is looking to set it up. Mackay was free. He eventually gets the ball back to Green. Loses his footing. And Ken Cole screams for the foul, and umpire referee Greg Love eventually calls it.
The reason that foul happened was that the Falcons have been mixing up their defence the last few times down the floor. They're playing, alternating between the man-to-man defence and the zone defence. That time after the shot was blocked, a couple of the players weren't quite sure whether it was man-to-man or a zone, and Paul Hyland was actually pushed across there to pick up the man, and Paul Hyland took the extra couple of steps then and ran into Green. So when you take chances on defence, you have to expect that there are going to be a few errors.
And Green does the right thing by this capacity crowd and sinks both his shots. So now Newcastle again will go to set the ball up with Highland to Simpson. West End 36ers leading 28-19. Simpson looking for an opening. McDaniel calls for it, but Ray Wood does a lovely block as the ball comes down to Green. And that's the end of the first quarter. Everyone's sort of standing there wondering what had gone, what had happened. At quarter time, the West End 36ers 28, leading the Newcastle Falcons 19.
The only things we did wrong there. Like if you get inside and you've got great position and the man's got force him out further, then by himself and he's looking like he's not going to shoot, you've got to.
So it's Jim Moran for the Falcons up against Bill Jones, and Ricky Simpson for the Falcons comes away with the ball. Falcons running into their offence. Johnson, good defence, Ray Wood, and they can't quite get anyone free as Paul Hyland controls the ball. There's the 10-second on the shot clock sound. Big rebound there. And the 36ers 28 leading the Falcons 19.
Good defence then from the West End 36ers as they now try and set up their own offence. 28-19 they lead. The pass comes into Davis. Eventually gets the shot away. Jones almost a strong rebound, but it's eventually picked up by Moran. So it's back in Newcastle's half now. Lovely work by Ricky Simpson, but misses with the easy rebound for Johnson, but he really overdoes the shot. Not a controlled shot. So the West End 36ers will try and set it up again.
And the Falcons have got a few problems. They can't afford to take a bad shot because the Sixers are really controlling the boards. They've taken 12 rebounds to the Falcons 5, and the Sixers are shooting 63% from the floor against the Falcons 45.
There's yet another turnover, and the Falcons should score an easy 2 points here as Michael Johnson just lays it up.
Yes, the Sixers have had 7 turnovers now, and the Falcons 5. So the Falcons have played quite good defence.
And almost the 8th turnover. In fact, will it be? No, it won't. Davis recovers. But just a little unsure hand so far early in this game tonight, Lynn. Some of the passes have been just off, and as we've been saying, the West End 36ers defence has been good, as too has the Newcastle, but not on that occasion, as Ray Wood got the shot away and made the basket.
Yeah, there's been a bit of loose passing and loose ball handling from the guards in the 36ers offence. Michael Johnson, that's a top spin.
Good pass to Matheny, who loves that little hook. Misses, but the ball comes down to Simpson. And there he is, he's calling for the foul. He didn't get it, but he got the 2 points anyway. So Newcastle stay in touch. 7 points down they are, 23, trailing the West End 36ers 30. Mike Mackay attempts the 3-pointer, misses. Big rebound, Davis. Will he go up? Yes, he will, and he makes it. So Mark Davis really hitting top form now. It's his 4th point of the night.
Great rebound, Davis. Mike Mackay was able to take that shot from outside, knowing the security blanket of both Davis and Jones are underneath to pick up the crumbs. Highland, he's got the drive all the way to the basket. Great rebound over the top by Moran.
He's only a youngster, Moran, only 23. Not a lot of games behind him, but certainly shown some ability tonight. A big boy at 203, 208 centimetres.
Yeah, not frightened to get in underneath and contest under the rebounds.
Foul called there against Newcastle. You'll see the pass come in here. As the pass goes in from Wood, Buster Matheny just turns around and bang. So Billy Jones will go to the foul line.
Yeah, had that hands foul not been called before the shot, that was really good defence on Jim Moran's part. He had that hand right up in the air, making it hard for Bill Jones to get that shot away. But the foul had occurred before then, and Bill Jones has the opportunity to go to the foul line, and he's shooting 2 shots.
Substitution called by the Newcastle side. Ian Rebillard back on the court, Michael Johnson on the bench. So it's Matheny, Highland, Rebillard, Moran and Simpson on the court for Newcastle. Jones makes the second shot. Jones, Davis, Green, Wood and Mike Mackay on the boards for the West End 36ers. As it's Highland now setting it up, gives it to Matheny, attempts the hook again, but Davis hands to the ball, big rebound, 3-on-2, now 3-on-3, but a lovely pass and Mike Mackay misses the sitter. Lovely pass from Green then to Mike Mackay, but unfortunately for the home side, the shot not put away. As now it's Newcastle. Moran attempts the hook, and a good hook. Makes 2 points. So 6 points the difference. West End 36ers leading as Mike Mackay tries to go through, but the foul is called on Ian Rebillard, who was moving as Mackay hit him.
Yes, didn't quite make good defence. Falcons coach Steve Johansson said the defence was good, but quite clearly the defensive player did not have those feet firmly entrenched throughout the leg, in much the same way as Mike Mackay was pinged earlier. And we have a substitution as David Spear comes onto the floor for the 36ers, and he replaces Al Green. And coach Ken Cole for the 36ers has said that he wants to try and give his bench a run. Lovely shot. Players with more time on the floor. Mike Mackay makes a strong 2 points to take his team to 35, leading the Falcons on 27.
Well, if Ken Cole, if the players have the ability and he sticks to his word by saying he's going to give them more court time, they will only become better players for it. Last year we didn't see a lot of David Spear unless the games were certainly in the bag. And here we are, not yet half-time, and he's on the court. Lovely pass from Davis to Jones. What a beautiful move. Davis out the corner of his eye saw Jones moving towards the basket, and whip across went the pass, and Jones did the rest.
And that's a planned play. They try and overload one side. Jones is left alone on the foul line, so he's able to just sneak down through the side, down the line, pick the ball up free if the passer is good enough to get the ball to him, and that's what happened.
Equally nice move by Newcastle as Matheny scores 2 points. Foul called on Paul Highland. Another hands foul as Mike Mackay was coming down with the ball.
We got a substitution here as Peter Barton comes onto the floor for the first time, replacing Ricky Simpson. Peter Barton is another South Australian, and in fact played in the same under-14 team with Darryl Pearce. And they are 2 very promising players during under-14s, under-16s, all the way up through junior ranks.
Okay, so that's Peter Barton. Who have you got?
I got Billy.
You stay with Rebellion, you've got Highland, you swap over. You go to Peter Barton, you go to Rebellion, and you go to Highland, okay? Listen, we've got to run our stuff nice and straight and hard and regular, but watch that screen. It's at the screen, and the guy's coming over the top, and it's getting easier and easier to make that pass inside. The offside guard or offside forward's the man who's got to get in and annoy that pass. Be honest on the rest of the guys, okay? Run it down at them. Run your offense through. Let's run a couple of threes. A three next time, so you can get you three coming up off that screen. Okay?
Try and get this one back to this player.
Yeah.
Stay on. Stay in the zone, come on. In the zone. 1, 2, 3, go. Keep talking it more, man.
So shooting percentages for both teams. The 36ers have had their percentages lowered with some good defence down to 57, and conversely the Falcons have increased their shooting percentage from the floor up to 50%.
Just over 7 minutes remaining in the first half as Raywood misses with the shot. Lovely work from Mike Mackay, doesn't quite come off as Wood couldn't get to the ball. So once again it's Newcastle through Ian Rebilliard to Barton, looking to set it up. Matheny is free, makes the shot but misses. Backs up and takes his own rebound, eventually off hands. Highland this time tries to drive but misses. Davis with the rebound. 2 on 1, 2 on 2. Wood decides to go all the way but misses again. Not too often you'll see Ray Wood miss 2 percentage shots like that in a row. So the West End 36ers 37, leading Newcastle 31.
And interestingly, the smallest player for one of the smaller players for the Falcons is Ricky Simpson, and he's pulled down over half of their rebounds. Good steal there. Here's the fast break, but a good effort there by Paul Highland to steal the ball from Mark Davis, and a foul's been called on David Spear for hands. David Spear not happy, as you see him in his screen, but he threw the arm out and quite clearly grabbed a hold of Paul Highland. And that was a good effort from Paul Highland to pick up that steal.
Ken Cole not happy with the call. In fact, had a few words with Greg Love, but that's happened before and it'll happen again. So it's Highland now. It's Ray Wood guarding him. Gets the ball across to Barton, almost slips, eventually gets across to Rebilliard. Now McDaniel, almost a hands foul again on Spear. But the shot comes out to Rebilliard and he makes it. So Newcastle really getting back into this game.
It's interesting to see that both teams are running very similar offences. They like to bring their big strong big strong centre player forward up to the top of the key. He sets the tough screen and the guard comes off that screen, and then if they can't get that option, they bring the ball down to the side and then throw the ball into the low post. So both teams playing very similar sorts of offensive movements, and obviously Steve Johansson's been influenced by coach Ken Cole.
Lovely pass again from Davis to Jones. Not much Paul Highland could do about that.
And that's exactly what I was saying, where they throw the ball down low, throw the ball inside to that guy in the low post and just let him work one-on-one.
So the 36ers skip away to a 6-point lead as it's Moran to Barton, attempts the shot and makes the shot. Nice shot, Peter Barton.
Peter Barton's got a lovely shot. He'll make a very high percentage of those from out in that position. As a junior, he was a forward that he didn't grow from about age 14 to 16, and we see him in a guard spot now.
Another turnover against the 36ers, and it's Barton on the fast break. Almost gets the pass away, does get the pass away. Highland misses with a shot. Barton recovers and makes it. So he's shown something in the few moments he's been on the court, and it's only 2 points the difference, with the West End 36ers leading 39 to 37. Spear to Wood, again into Davis. Moran there, Davis misses, and in fact misses the rebound. So Newcastle now a chance to tie up this ball game, and it seems as it's a repeat of the game. Travel called there on Ian Rebilliard, starting to shape as a repeat of the game in Newcastle 2 weeks ago. In fact, last weekend, where the West End 36ers got home by 2 points. Substitutions made by the West End 36ers. Mackay and Spear leave the court. Darryl Pearce with the headgear, and Al Green with the ball come on to replace them.
So it's the 36ers running around in offence. The Falcons are in a zone defence. Billy Jones from the foul line takes the shot, which is missed, and it's a 3-on-2 fast break. 4-on-2 for the Falcons as Rebilliard pulls up and makes a good two-pointer. And that ties up the game, 39 points all with 4 minutes and 3 seconds remaining till half-time.
Ray Wood now. And certainly not like the semi-final last year when the West End 36ers absolutely pilled Newcastle as Jones takes a good rebound and puts the ball away. This time last year they beat Newcastle by 50 points, but you'd hardly recognise that same Newcastle team tonight. A number of recruits as they look to set it up again. McDaniel decides to go out and have a look. Highland into Barton, turns, twists, drives and makes the basket and takes the foul as well. So Peter Barton will go to the foul line.
And that's the training he had as a junior, working with his back to the basket. That's a sweet move. And a lot of the big guys, the tall timber in there, don't expect somebody perhaps of the height of Peter Barton to be able to spin and get that shot away from underneath. And he puts up his bonus shot and it's good. So it looks like there's a press here from the Falcons. We've got to see how these guys handle the press.
And Newcastle have turned a 10-point deficit into a 1-point lead. With just on 3.5 minutes to go in the first half as Al Green goes to drive all the way, makes the basket and gets the foul.
And that's the classic way to break up the press. The forward leads down the floor, they make the long pass, it becomes a 3-on-2 situation and Green's able to take that drive all the way down the line, finish it off, and you can see the big defensive hand coming over there, the body cannons into Green for the foul. McDaniel with a tough rebound. Run, and the Falcons into offence.
Ken Cole not happy with the foul shooting of the 36ers last weekend, and Green missed that one as well. 43-42 the scores as McDaniel puts the shot up. Moran the rebound, misses, and a lovely tap in from Wayne McDaniel.
And there's been a different story here from the rebounding in this second quarter, where the 36ers have pulled down 5 rebounds. As we see another big rebound, took that up to 6. As Billy Jones makes an offensive tip. But the Falcons have pulled down 10 rebounds this quarter, and that's over double what they did in the first quarter. So the big guys for the 36ers tend to have gone to sleep, I think, a bit in this second quarter.
Certainly looming as a very close contest all the way through. 1 point the difference as McDaniel goes alone, but misses. Jones takes the rebound. Been solid both in attack and defence tonight, Bill Jones. As Ray Wood now sets it up to Al Green. Pearce calling for it on the far side, but he goes inside to Al Green, misses, but Davis comes out with it. He won't miss and doesn't. So Mark Davis scores 2 points for the West End 36ers. They lead 47-44. Been a good game of basketball. Green affects the steal. What's he called the foul on? I don't know. The players don't know. Wayne McDaniel's shattered, to say the least. Looked a fairly technical foul to me, Lynn.
Ken Cole in your screen there. He knew that there was a 2-on-1 fast break had that foul not been called.
Simpson coming in. You've got Simpson. You pick whoever else is left out of those guys. Matheny's in. You've got Matheny. Now listen, on the offense, let's run Mark on the foul line, Billy in low in a 1-3-1 balance, okay? 1-3-1 balance. So, you want the point or the wing? He's got the point, get a wing each, you two. Look to penetrate, hit Mark on the line. Mark looks to go right down the middle of it, a little layup or a jump. Billy, you back him up. Penetrate, or then look for a couple of threes. Okay? Do you want inside the fourth line or outside? Yeah. Just run regular. I'll call a move to you. When we call a high, I'll switch to you when we want to go high. Let's go. Let's get up on those boards.
That their offence is bogged down against that Falcons zone defence. So he's changed the offensive structure. They'll go into a 1-3-1 offence. That means they'll be looking to throw the ball from the top down to the wing and then feed into either the high post or the weak side forward bus in underneath on the low post.
1 minute and 58 seconds to go till half time as Al Green makes the first. That's a better shot than the Mean Machine. Scores 48 to the West End 36ers, 44 to Newcastle. Make that 49 as Green makes both. So now it's Ricky Simpson for Newcastle. Been a good player. So is Ian Rebilliard.
Yes, Ian Rebilliard has hit 4 from 5 shots from the floor for the Falcons. He's been one of their best scorers. Peter Barton Goes all the way. There's a fast break on now. There's the long pass down to Al Green, who lays it up. Under a lot of pressure.
Excellent hands from Al Green. It was a one-on-one contest, Al Green, Ricky Simpson. Al Green won that one. There's a lovely hook shot from Buster Matheny, brings back 2 points for Newcastle.
It's a great shot from Matheny. That hook shot is virtually impossible to guard.
And deceptive.
Yeah, and he's very well balanced when he throws the shot up. He hits a very high percentage from it. And you know, the defence, the hook shot is a defensive player's nightmare.
Just over a minute to go in the first half as Darryl Pearce attempts one and makes no mistake. Certainly the headgear's not weighing him down. That was a lovely shot from Pearce. 53-46, the home side lead. And I'm sure people in Brisbane, through TVO in Brisbane, enjoying this game here at the Apollo Stadium as Barton attempts the shot, misses. As Darryl Pearce comes out with the rebound. Now Jones. 41 seconds left in the first half. The West End 36ers lead, 53-46. Pearce calling for it. Decides to drive. Not a high percentage shot from Darryl Pearce. He wouldn't be overly pleased with that. 27 seconds. Rabilia drives. Lovely work, Bill Jones, but they forget the rebound. Matheny puts up the rebound, but blocked. 17 seconds. Great defensive work. West End 36ers crowd love it.
Yes, Coach Johansson was saying that the shot should have been made good because it was on its downward flight. Not so, said the referees. And down goes the shot clock count as Green throws it up. And what a magnificent effort from Mark Davis. Positioned himself really well underneath the basket. The shot dropped short and he tipped it in. There he is. He leaps up into the air. What a great leap. Thought about the reverse dunk and then said, no, I'm going to make sure this goes in so that my team will be 55, leading the Newcastle Falcons on 46 at half-time.
West End 36ers, that's a huge part obviously, and also from our UFM shop of 32 ball players in the city. A lot of those people not reading their tests, get their feet under it, especially those under the nets.
So to commence this second half, that's Bill Jones winning the tip for the 36ers in the red uniforms. They're on 55 points, leading the Newcastle Falcons on 46. Raymond Wood commencing this second half for his team in the opening lineup, and we haven't seen that for a long time, Andrew Kay.
Yes, Coach Ken Cole has been willing to try his entire bench in the last few weeks as the West End 36ers score to take an 11-point lead. Ray Wood, Darryl Pearce, Bill Jones, Al Green and Mark Davis on the court for the home side, as it's Al Green with a long pass to Pearce, does well to control it, but it's now with Ray Wood. Back to Pearce wearing the headgear, member of the Australian team. The pass goes into Green, a holding foul called on Ricky Simpson. Ricky Simpson, Ian Rebilliard, Michael Johnson, Wayne McDaniel and Jim Moran on the court for the Newcastle Falcons, the team owned by Basil Sellers, the man who lost the battle with Dr. Jeff Edelston to buy the Swans. Gets better value out of basketball as the pass goes into Jones and he makes it.
That's 17 points to Billy Jones.
And a strong player, the West End 36's captain tonight. Played a good game. Ian Rebilliard now looking to drive, gets the pass out to McDaniel on his own, makes no mistake. Wayne McDaniel played a fair game for Newcastle tonight. Not as dominating as we may have expected, but perhaps a part of that reason may be that he's wearing 3 fouls.
Yes, he's been well guarded tonight by Mark Davis. He scored 6 valuable points, but he hasn't been as dominant on the boards as we normally come to expect. Wayne McDaniels is usually a very fierce competitor on the boards. As the shot clock goes to say that there's 10 seconds left, and Darryl Pearce shoots from a long way out for a 3-pointer, and that takes his team along to 62 points. They're leading the Falcons on 48. As Ricky Simpson says, let's quickly run and clear out, or when I feed it into the low post, and there it is, underneath off the glass, Ian Rebilliard, and Ricky Simpson really called that play from a long way back.
Yes, good work there by Newcastle. They're certainly still in this game. They're only trailing by 12 points. They've played well all night. They haven't yet, in fact they have been in front once. They've got a 1-point lead as the pass goes to Davis. Can't do much to move, but eventually gets the shot up and makes the basket. Good work there by Mark Davis. And I know we've said it all season, but it does show his strength as now Newcastle race back into attack.
Yeah, 10 points, Mark Davis. He's looking to go one-on-one every time he gets the ball because he's just so much more physical than his defensive player, and he's able to get the shot away if he can in fact receive the ball. So it puts a lot of pressure on the defensive player to try and deny Davis the ball. McDaniel from outside hits another 2 points.
That's twice we've seen in this quarter now that McDaniel's been on his own, unattended, and has the easiest of shot to put up, and in fact makes the basket on both occasions.
8 points, Wayne McDaniel. Yes, you're quite right, Andrew. You cannot leave Wayne McDaniels alone anywhere from 12 feet and in closer from the basket.
And the last thing we want now for the home side is for the Newcastle Falcons to get someone really firing and on a roll, as once again the 36ers run down the shot clock to 10 seconds, now 7. Green decides to go all the way, and lovely basket that. Just put it up with his left hand and no mistake.
That's 19 points to our Green as McDaniel from that same spot yet again takes his personal tally to 10 points and the Falcons to 54, trailing the 36ers on 66 points.
3 from 3 this quarter. McDaniel has a lovely pass this time from Davis into Darryl Pearce. He just lays it up and gets the foul as well.
And that's the classic play, as they've high post comes in. The weak side guard who was in that spot was
Ian Rebilliard.
Darryl Pearce.
Right.
Floated down to the 45 area and then just cut in hard underneath the basket. The guy on the foul line turns around, feeds it off, and it's usually a 2 points straight off the glass. And Darryl Pearce makes no mistake with that extra shot to take his personal tally to 10.
And Adelaide yet to miss a shot in this third quarter, as now it's Moran who sells the dummy, but doesn't make the shot, and now it's a jump ball between Ricky Simpson and Billy Jones fighting for that rebound. Now this will be interesting. We've been saying Ricky Simpson's not the tallest player out there, but by gee, he can jump, whereas Billy Jones is 6'9". So let's just see how this jump ball comes out.
No, that's a bad call. That is a bad call by the referee. The ball hit the ground, and once the ball hits the ground, the guy in the tap is able to grab a hold of it and play on. So that's a bad call there.
So it's Newcastle now who've gained possession with that. McDaniel again on his own and again makes the basket. 4 out of 4. And he's keeping Newcastle in this game. They trail by 13 points. It is certainly not McDaniel's fault as Davis drives. Should have perhaps made that basket. And Newcastle will take the ball from the side.
Yeah, that's an error from Mark Davis. There was nobody within Cooey there. He did the right thing. It was a nice spin, went all the way to the basket. There was no defence, and I think he was so surprised that he missed the shot. He made the shot a lot harder. And down at the other end, Wayne McDaniel, there's that man. He's really come out to firing in this second half.
You'll see the pass comes into Moran, and then he puts the shot, misses the shot. McDaniel just waits and then goes up, and Davis goes with him, but unfortunately gets the hands to him. As the crowd get the noise order, has no effect at all on McDaniel's shot. He scored his 13th point of this match. Misses with the next attempt, but the rebound comes out to Simpson. Raywood with the hand on the ball. Perhaps a jump could have been called, but Simpson got free, and so Newcastle creep within 10 points. certainly anyone's game. This been a good game. Still 7.5 minutes left in the third quarter as Jones decides to drive. Goes up and over. Just put it up with the left hand as he went under the basket. Lovely work, Bill Jones.
Yeah, nice move. Took the baseline and then went right underneath the basket. And as you said, Andrew, came back with the left hand to take his personal tally to 19. And the coach, Steve Johansson, for the Falcons, not happy with that foul that was called on Jim Moran, which is his third personal foul, and gives the 36ers a chance to regain possession and run down the floor into offense. They look for that weak side pick again as Raymond Wood comes off looking for the pass, and it's a turnover. Has bad hands, but a good effort there by Michael Johnson, who put Ray Wood under a bit of pressure.
Wayne McDaniel again calling for the ball. It'll be interesting if they let him get free again, but it's now with Rebilliard. 3 seconds called on McDaniel this time, so a turnover at the other end. Ken Cole is yelling instructions to his players. Al Green now gives the ball to Wood, and Wood gives it straight back. The West End 36ers 71, leading Newcastle 59 as it's Pearce. Can't get the shot, gives it into Wood, and Wood to Jones, but there's a big foul called on Wayne McDaniel. Puts 2 hands in the air.
And the 36ers are a real threat when the ball goes inside there to Bill Jones. You see that he spins, he's able to go up the top, and he would have been able to get that shot away, but down comes the big arm from Jim Moran. If he'd have been able just to keep the hand up in place, it would have put a lot more pressure on him. But it's the old story. All of the forwards like to really slam the ball down the shooter's face. And if they just put their hand up, it perhaps just intimidates a bit more, but it is a nice feeling when that shot is blocked. So it's an extra point there that Billy Jones made to take his personal tally to 20, and the 36ers along to 72, and they lead the Falcons on 59 as the 36ers regain possession, and Ray Wood looks to settle down his teammates.
And certainly Newcastle not out of this game yet, but starting to creep into foul trouble. Rebilliard has 3. Pearce misses with the shot. Rebilliard has 3. McDaniel has 3. And the big fella Jim Moran has 4. So now it's Newcastle looking to set it up with Ricky Simpson, former player in Adelaide with Noarlunga City, and a good player. To Johnson. McDaniel free on his own, but a foul is called. This time the foul's call came into McDaniel. He just turned. Jones was there with the hands up. So Ian Rebilliard will take it from the side for Newcastle. And this time the foul's called on Al Green. And that really is a ticky-touch foul, Lynn. I mean, there is 2 players running in the same direction, putting the same amount of pressure on each other. One of them gets called a foul on.
Yeah, all the out-of-bounds plays these days tend to set up a block so that somebody can run off the screen and set the block. And this time it's exactly the same situation, and they say that Ricky Simpson was the culprit. So, as you say, perhaps in those sort of circumstances where guys are just trying to run off the screen, they should be allowed to play.
And perhaps there are occasions where people should suggest it's not netball. There is some contact allowed in this, or rather it's accepted, as Pearce, the over-the-head pass back to Davis, but not a good shot from Mark Davis. Doesn't even hit the ring. So Ian Rebilliard will try and set it up again for Newcastle. The game just fallen away a little bit in the last second as McDaniel on his own again gets the ball up, misses the shot. Buster Mahoney trying to put away the rebound. It should come out to Pearce to Green, but he taps it on, and unfortunately just out of the waiting arms of Al Green. The idea was good, but the luck wasn't with him. So once again it's Newcastle now. Just under 6 minutes to go in this third quarter. Newcastle trail 59 to the West End 36 is 72. Ricky Simpson looking to drive. Oof. Ray Wood perhaps lucky to get away with that as Al Green goes bang! And Al Green just loves that dunk. So it has to be good work from Ray Wood. He got away with it. The ball came out. You see the tap on. Green has got 3 yards on his opponents. 1, 2 steps up and wacko straight through the middle. At the other end, it's Michael Johnson and an equally good shot.
If I can just say something about Al Green, you notice that he's so fast down the court. He outdistanced the defensive players, but he throws the ball out so far in front, and he's quick off of those first 1 and 2 steps. And as you say, he's just got such tremendous ability. He leaps in the air and slammed it. As there's a turnaround jump shot attempted there by Mark Davis. Mark Davis is fouled. He gets the opportunity to go to the line. And Buster Matheny Number 15 for the Falcons picks up his second foul, attempting to block that shot. Mark Davis.
Buster Matheny wasn't all that impressed with that call either. Newcastle trailing 61-74. Davis at the foul line.
It's always difficult to hold the player back from the shot once they've made good position underneath the basket. And in the case of Davis, he's able to camp inside that low post area, and when he receives the ball, he spins every time, and he's just so tough that it's pretty hard to try and block the shot. The only way to play Davis is to try and deny him the ball and not allow him to get to the good position before he receives the ball.
Newcastle now looking to set it up. McDaniel, what'll he do this time? Can't get the shot away. Good defence, Davis. He gives it back to Paul Hyland. Now to Johnson. Johnson looking to force it, but gets it to McDaniel. McDaniel misses, and Pearce takes the rebound. Good work, good defence, West End 36ers, as Ray Wood will now set it up. And the people in Brisbane watching this game through TVO would now see some of the strengths of the Adelaide team. In fact, the game in here in a few weeks' time against Brisbane is just about a sellout, although it's not till early August from memory. August the 2nd, as the pass comes down to Al Green. A lovely turn, drives, but it could be a forcing. Yes, it is a forcing foul. Al Green's fully aware of that call coming in.
Al Green looking to score a few points tonight, receives the ball, looks to spin, drops the ball back nicely, but a great effort there by Rebellion to get back there on defence, and he took the charge foul from Al Green, as Green was just determined to go all the way to the basket. So good defence by the Falcons.
Ken Cole's made a substitution. Ray Wood out of the game. Peter Ally, number 8, in as the pass goes through to Buster Mahaney, and Buster makes no mistake.
8 points.
Newcastle creep a little closer now, 13 points behind, 63-76. As it's Peter Ally, veteran of Australian basketball, Olympian, gets the ball away to Pearce. Pearce misses with the shot, but Davis, great hands, just pulls the ball out of the air, straight back up with it. And umpires should just hold play up for a moment while they wipe the court down. But great work there from Mark Davis. Superb work, Glenn.
Oh, superb rebound. He just took off. As I said, he makes good position underneath the basket. There he was without the ball. The shot went up. He was in such good position. And then he just leapt out of the gym to grab hold of that rebound.
So now Newcastle looking to set it up. Mahaney misses with that little flick hook shot. Pearce across the court to Green. Green into Jones. Good work that. That's a lovely move. Bill Jones made beautiful position. Green saw him and just whipped the ball into him. And Bill Jones now has 22 points for the ball game. As once again, it's Newcastle looking to stay in this game. They've done well so far. Highland, but a foul called, holding foul on Daryl Pearce. Ken Cole, blank look on his face. Don't see it too often. But struggling to understand that call as Newcastle make a substitution. Ian Rebillard leaves the court, and it's Peter Barton. And in the meantime, Steve Johansson calls a timeout for Newcastle. They trail 63-80.
Full court, man to man. Are you all okay to get up full court and play some D? Full court. Denial all the time down here, right? They're bringing the ball down and your man's here, play up. As the ball gets closer, you get closer and deny. Which means that we've got to have weak side help. The ball goes that side, Wayne, you get it, pushing your offense hard. Over and over and over. Grind them down. Don't get lazy and take that first one. Run it hard. If you're open, you take the good stuff. If not, just hustle it through. But get back here on the defence and own that defensive board. Take away the layup and own the defensive board. Everybody, block your man and rebound strong. Come on, let's finish this quarter out there.
So it's the full court press now by the Falcons. Coach Steve Johansson has just ordered his men right up the floor to try and force some errors. This quarter, the 36ers only have 1 turnover, Newcastle 3, and Adelaide are shooting 70% from the floor to the Falcons 50. So Coach Johansson, desperate to get his guys back in the game. It's 17 points, and he needs some errors.
This will be interesting, Lynn. If you remember the game against Illawarra where they threw the full court press on, and it really did force the West End 36ers into mistakes. And of course, Steve Johansson having the advantage of knowing the West End 36ers side backwards. He was one of the assistant coaches last year. And for those people who may be watching who aren't aware of what a full court press is, as I talk, Daryl Pearce makes a lovely basket, but a full court press is where one player from one team will pick up, as Matheny makes a basket, one player from one team will pick up one bloke from the other team and follow him everywhere he goes. As you see, Green there, obviously Highland is on Green, and they follow them everywhere. Full court, the full length of the court, as a foul is called. Foul called on Buster Matheny. West End 36ers lead 83-67. 2 minutes and 26 seconds left in this, the third quarter, in what's been an excellent game of basketball so far.
Well, that little outing down the floor for the 36ers didn't present any problem from the full court press, because whoever was guarding the guy that threw the ball into the court didn't get up on D, and so it was relatively easily for a one-on-one. But there's a turnover and a fast break. Bad pass there though from Daryl Pearce as Paul Highland throws the ball to McDaniel for a shot, but McDaniel travels, said referee Greg Love. Now let's have a look at how good this defence is. Now, on a full court press, Highland should have been up, denying Al Green with the ball. It's too hard to take the ball away once the guy's actually received it and bringing the ball down the floor. And that's just a foul shot for Daryl Pearce, and that takes him to 15 points.
Pearce been a good player tonight. Hasn't spent all that much time on the court. As the ball rebounds off Mark Davis's shoulder, Peter Ally comes out with the rebound, looking to set it up. And now all of a sudden, Newcastle.
There's no full court press. Here's a slam dunk if he wants it. Wham!
Lovely pass from Mark Davis. Could have gone all the way, saw Jones on his own, so just flicked the ball over. You'll see Davis now, he turns, dummies, sees his opponent there. Jones on his own, over the ball goes, and Jones up and in, thank you very much, and a 20-point lead comes along with that. West End 36ers 87. Crickett's Devils number, leading Newcastle 67. There's a foul called this time. Looks like it's on Peter Barton. As Steve Johansson, the Newcastle coach, decides to make another substitution. Michael Johnson leaves the court, and Ricky Simpson, number 9, comes onto the court.
And the two big guys for the 36ers have taken 10 rebounds apiece so far for the game. Jones has scored 24 and Mark Davis 14, so that just tells the story of how they're really getting on the offensive boards and then pulling down those defensive rebounds as well, as once again we see that spin there from Al Green. Al Green hungry for the ball tonight.
The big ooh from the crowd there as Ian Turner made the call. One arm went up halfway and then up came the other one, and he changed his mind, which is fair enough. Good umpire is one who's prepared to admit he may be almost wrong. Not too many of them do. Pearce into Davis, gets free, puts up the shot but misses. Barton, a good rebound, 2-on-2 now. Highland and McDaniel versus Pearce and Ally. Highland goes all the way and makes the basket. Good work from Paul Highland. Good player, not a big player, but Nuggety tries hard. Bill Jones now almost loses possession. West End 36ers looking to set it up, but Wayne McDaniel just got the fingertips to that ball and it whipped out of court.
And there's the coaching staff on the bench for the 36ers, Ken Cole and Don Shipway. And Don Shipway's mother not very well in Flinders Hospital, and she's been an avid supporter of basketball for many, many years, and our thoughts are with you, Mrs. Shippey.
There's a foul called now on Peter Ally. Tried to take the ball off Peter Barton, who pulled the rebound down. So West End 36 is not really in foul trouble yet. Al Green has 3. But Newcastle, Rebillard 3, Simpson 3, McDaniel 3, Moran 4 and Matheny 3. So still a lot of basketball left. 26 seconds in this, the third quarter remaining. And of course 12 minutes then in the last quarter. The shot missed, so it's the West End 36ers looking to set up. Jones now, what will he do?
Foul's called on Al Green. Green was posting up down the low post. Once again, a duel between Green and Ricky Simpson. Green was looking for the ball to receive the ball in the low post so that he could spin. As he walks off the floor, he said, "That wasn't a foul on me, ref." There's Don Shipway there consoling Al Green. He'll have a few words to say that there is a mismatch there if you want it, Al, but don't be impatient. Wayne McDaniel takes the drive and he'll go all the way. Nice hook shot from Wayne McDaniel, and that takes him to 16 points. And certainly in this third quarter, Wayne McDaniel has played a very good game for the Newcastle Falcons.
And at three-quarter time, the scores: West End 36ers 87, leading Newcastle 71.
Okay, stay with it the same way, okay? Run your offense hard. Mark's on the line. Daryl's in fourth. Peter's outside in the 2 or the 3 spot with Ray. Billy, you're in that feeder spot. You've got to play D hard. Keep coming at them hard on the defense. Take them early down the floor if you possibly can on the break. But if that, like, I'm calling out to Daryl to take him early down the floor, but everybody else has got to really run to get back behind him. Otherwise, he takes him early and the guy goes by, there ain't no help behind. Run our stuff and keep running it real hard and real regular. Run it. I'll tell you, I don't think we've run once yet where you've come out to set the screen and just split straight to the bucket, have we, this game? Well, let's look for that, you know.
It's off balance. Get up and body the guy. Don't push him out, but body him. Don't let him get his balance back. You've got to be tough out there. Okay? Work together, run your offenses, run it down at him, get to your spots. I want you in the 5, you 4. Okay, and Ricky, you go to 2.
Let's go to Wayne for while he's hot. Let's go to him while he's hot.
Be aggressive though, Phil.
Alright, will you stay in 5?
That's why you got a 4.
4. Come on, boys. Go on now. Ball forward. It's got to be
Boys,
forward.
yeah, they're good boys. Yeah, let's give it a go.
We'd also appreciate if people move away from the baseline, please. Thank you, teams. Thanks a lot.
So with 12 minutes of basketball remaining, it's the West End 36ers leading by 16 as the Falcons come away with possession from the opening tip. And that full court press that Coach Johansson wanted his players to apply just didn't happen in that third quarter. So Ricky Simpson takes the shot and the 36ers come away with the ball. That's a good hustle there from Darryl Pearce to enable the big guy, the chairman of the boards, and Mark Davis to pick up possession. So it's the 36ers running into offense now, and Billy Jones looking to take the drive. And Bill Jones has certainly become much more of a forward. Not only has he become an offensive threat, but he's tending to work more as a forward. He's not frightened to receive the ball out wide, put the ball on the floor and take the drive. And that's something that you've noticed this season, Andrew Kay.
Yes, certainly have. Jones has done work at both ends of the courts this year as Ray Wood puts the shot up, and that's a good shot for Ray Wood. Not far off the 2,000 point mark in his National Basketball League career, and that'll be a great milestone for the veteran.
Ray Wood, in fact, has played more games in the NBL than any other player.
The jump ball called. The refs can't decide who got the fingers to the ball last, so we'll have a jump ball between Peter Ally and Peter Barton.
And these two players have contested jump balls for many years. Peter Barton, of course, played for United Church and Sturt. For South Adelaide in the local competition here as a junior, and Peter Ally played for West Adelaide. And in those days, they were very strong combatants, and they remain so. As Paul Highlands throws the ball out to Ricky Simpson, but bad pass, and there's that man, Peter Barton, with a two-handed dunk as he picks off that pass. And here's the full court press that didn't happen in the third quarter, and already one turnover as a result.
So let's see just how effective it is for Newcastle. They'll have to get a wriggle on soon because they're down by 16 points. Illawarra did it with great effect. Peter Ally tries the shot, makes the shot, Good basket to Peter Ally. 8 points for the ball game.
Has not missed a shot, Peter Ally, tonight.
Been a good player for many, many years as Simpson drives, and Simpson, good shot to him. 2 points. Now Wood bringing the ball down for the West End 36ers. They lead 91-75. Pass comes out to Pearce. It misses. Pearce comes down on his head, and that will hurt. Daryl Pearce in a bit of trouble there, but gets up. No doubting that man's courage. Pearce got hit again in the head. As the crowd oars. Coach Ken Cole standing on the sideline, looks a little concerned. So we may see something here. I don't think Pearce's fractured cheekbone can stand too much of that. He has the ball now as he decides to drive and draws the foul.
And that's the sucker play. That is definitely the sucker play from Daryl Pearce. Daryl was completely off balance. He came off the screen. He knew that Simpson was chasing him. See, he had that little look. Up he went for a shot, knowing full well that there was no option but for Ricky Simpson to charge in for the foul.
Now let's see just how badly he is hurt. You wouldn't think so on that shot. Straight through the bucket.
16 points.
He is signalling to the bench though. Misses with the second shot. Ball tapped out by Bill Jones, and Newcastle take control. So it's Paul Hyland now for Newcastle. Former player with North Adelaide here in the district competition. Gives it off to McDaniel. They'll be looking for him because he was hot in that third quarter. Davis with the ball looking to give it off. Now the West End 36ers looking to set up their offence. Pearce. Back to Davis. Will he go all the way? Misses with the shot. It almost takes Ricky Simpson out of the game. It comes down to Jones. He misses. Ray Wood has the rebound, but Davis runs almost straight through him. Mark Davis fairly apologetic. Wasn't aware that Ray Wood was behind him and had control of the ball. Substitution now called. That wasn't totally unexpected as Daryl Pearce leaves the court, throws the headgear away. And Al Green back on the boards. Al Green on 4 fouls though. Let's see if he can play out the rest of the game.
Yes, and Daryl Pearce appears to be fairly comfortable. So there's no worries for the 36ers there as Johnson with a turnaround jump shot. Bill Jones with yet another rebound. And certainly the 36ers have controlled the boards tonight. They've taken 25 rebounds to make that chalk it up to 26 as Mark Davis puts in another offensive rebound. And a long pass goes astray. The 36ers get possession and the coaching staff for the 36ers are up. They want to see this lead extended. It was only 2 points in Newcastle last week. Certainly it hasn't been the physical game tonight that we expected, Andrew, but it's been all 36ers.
No, in fact, we did expect something with so much homegrown talent on the court, both for the West End 36ers and the Newcastle side. We thought it'd be on all night. It's been a good game and a tough game, but perhaps not as tough physically as we may have thought.
But it's been all Davis and Bill Jones, 24 and 18 points respectively, and they've done it all on the boards as well.
It's Michael Johnson scores now for Newcastle, and Al Green. What will he do this time? Moves out of the three-point area, back to Ally. 14 seconds on the shot clock. The ball goes across to Ray Wood. Sells the dummy, puts the shot up. It misses, comes down to Ally, back to Wood. So they get another 30 seconds again. Let's set it up. The players are calling to each other. Ken Cole calling the same thing as Jones drives all the way and makes it. Buster Matheny lends on his backside. Jones gets the 2 points.
Yeah, Matheny was expecting the charge and it just didn't come. Jones was able to prop and stop, go up for the shot uncontested because Matheny was expecting the charge that didn't come. But nice move, Ricky Simpson. Well tipped out there by Jones, and here's Green. He goes all the way. The foul's called. It's a hands foul. Paul Hyland threw out the arm, attempting to throw to grab a hold of the ball, which is bad defence because Green was pretty well off balance when he took that shot. Here goes the arm, whack, down it goes, and Green not able to complete the basket, but he has the opportunity to score the 2 points from the foul line.
And a touch of irony in that foul. Both Green and Hyland used to be teammates here in Adelaide. And Highland, in fact, was invited to play with the 36ers, chose to go to Newcastle. But Green stayed home and scored 2 points for the home side as they bring up the century. 100. 100.
And that takes our Green. 36ers. I'm sorry, Andrew, but that takes our Green to 23 points. This could be 25. 25 points now to our Green with the opportunity for the bonus shot.
Well, if you're wondering why everyone is so excited here, Al Green has just become the first player. He's either shooting for it or he's just become the first player in basketball history here in Adelaide. In fact, Buster Matheny leaves the court for Newcastle with 5 fouls. We're just trying to confirm. Al Green has 25 points. He has, as far as we can understand, he needs just 2 more points to become the first player ever in Australia to reach 4,000 points. And I can tell you, he needs 1 more. I can tell you, in basketball terms, that's almost as good as anything Sir Donald Bradman ever did. And so, plenty of interest here. How much can the 36ers win by is one question the crowd is asking. And will Green get his 4,000th point? He has the ball, he's going for it. Gee, not the best shot in the world to go for it. But he has 6.5 minutes to get it. The West End 36ers leading 103 to 79 as a timeout is called by Newcastle.
Let's run our regular offense only, right? Keep possession of that damn ball and just get a good shot up. We only want to take good shots. Spread it out and open it up to drive as the time gets down. So let's make these guys work to get that damn ball. Get the ball, Mark. Get him down low and make a real fuss about coming back out and see if we can hit out on the low post and get it out of the way, okay? Listen, we've got a chance, the way the rhythm of the game is right now, to really blow these people out of the gym. And we don't want to let anything slide defensively. 8 games and not 100 against us. Play hard, tough defense, and run our offense.
And with 6 minutes and 29 seconds remaining in this ball game, it's a 24-point lead to the West End 36ers, and certainly the hometown crowd is right behind their favourite team. Lots of things happening. Our Green only needs 1 point to take him to 4,000 points in the NBL, and young Ray Wood, he needs 10 points to take him to 2,000 points in the NBL. And it's Wayne McDaniel looking to spin. The score's not counted. It was 3 seconds. Wayne McDaniel, after that great third quarter, has not had the same influence, Andrew, in this last term.
No, his third quarter, in fact, was by far his best for the game, but probably in the West End 36ers defence, they really did give him a lot of room in that third quarter, and he just took shots at will with no defence at all. As Bill Jones scores, and the home side goes to 105. Now a 26-point lead, and it'd want to be a very, very good side to get out of this, and I don't think the Newcastle side is capable. But stranger things have happened. Michael Johnson scores for Newcastle.
Michael Johnson been very quiet tonight, Andrew.
Yes, hasn't. I was expecting to see great things from him. I've read a lot about him. It's the first time I've seen him this year. Of course, he's a member of the Australian team. It's Mark Davis now. Clearly, no score there. Forcing foul on Mark Davis. Just pushed Highland out the way.
Here goes Davis. The screen has been set there. You can see Green with the screen. Davis goes all the way through, but Highland had posted up there, and quite obviously Davis was guilty of the charge.
Now it's Ian Rebilliard. Newcastle needs some quick baskets. Highland's got it. Back to McDaniel. They look for him, but he lets them down on this occasion. Al Green comes down with the ball. Gives the pass to Ray Wood. Davis called for it. Back to Green. Oh, got to push in the back, but called a travel. Al Green just puts the ball down. You see Ray Wood, he looks, gives in the pass to Green. Green gets a thump in the back, loses all control, but that's travel in the umpire's book.
Of course, Al was looking for the bonus shot. The Falcons are in bonus, and if the foul was caught, it would have put Green on the line, and that would have been pressure for the 4,000th point.
Davis says that rebound's mine, pal, as he snaps it in between those big hands of his, gives it off to Ray Wood. 26 points the difference, 24 points, I beg your pardon. West End 36ers with possession. Been a good performance by them.
And the story of this game can be shown in the stats. There's a turnover as Michael Johnson with a nice clean two-handed dunk, and the Falcons haven't given up. Their full court press here as Bill Jones leads all the way down the floor. Peter Rayleigh with the ball, Jones bringing the ball down the floor and shouldn't be, but Jones has played a great game for the 36ers, 26 points, and he and his partner on the boards in Mark Davis have just dominated, pulling down 39 rebounds for the game between them. Al Green, and there it is.
There it is. What a tremendous performance, Al Green. A standing ovation from 3,500 people at the Apollo Stadium. Ricky Simpson scores and draws the foul, but this crowd is only interested in the performance by Al Green. He just scored his 28th point for the match, and that gives him 4,001 points in National Basketball League. What a tremendous performance, Al Green, and that's a weight off his shoulders. The crowd really showing their appreciation. He's been around Adelaide basketball for a long, long time, and he has every reason to be delighted.
And you can see his teammates come and congratulate him. And up on the scoreboard, we see congratulations, Al Green, 4,000 points in the NBL.
That's a great performance. It's a great performance. Al Green, he's just taking it in his stride. He's getting congratulations from everywhere. He really is a very, very good basketballer. And he is delighted, absolutely delighted. Mind you. So, back to the action now. In fact, Al Green's off the court and he deserves a rest. So timeout now called for the West End 36ers. They lead 107-85 with 3 minutes and 36 seconds remaining.
Buck, okay. Billy, who you got? Rebellion. You take 8. You take 8. And you take Buck.
Number 7.
7. In offense, on the foul line, feeder spot, get into 4. You two run the ball, okay? Run it regular and run it hard. Don't be sloppy with it. There's 4 minutes, a long time to go. You know, run it out hard and take advantage of everything that's out there and play defense. Really play hard D. No cheapies. We only got 2 teams now, so you can afford to still be aggressive on your defense. Don't be conservative, but don't be silly. Let's go now.
It's 22 points in favour of the West End 36ers. 107, leading the Falcons on 85 as Ricky Simpson goes to the foul line.
Now, it'll be interesting in this last 3.5 minutes, Lynn. Can Newcastle become the first team this year to score 100 or more points against the West End 36ers?
I don't think so. The 36ers defence is good. We see Peter Sexton onto the floor for the first time, and his partner in the guard spot is the man with the ball just handing off David Spear there. There's been wholesale substitutions. 4 substitutions, in fact, as Bill Jones is the only play remaining on the floor from the team that went to that timeout.
There's Peter Sexton, Mike Mackay, Dwayne Nelson and David Spear all on the court as Dwayne Nelson lays it up, just pops it in with his right hand. Lovely basket from Dwayne Nelson.
Sweet move, Dwayne Nelson took the feint to the baseline, drove through the middle of the key, and then a lovely finger roll to finish it off. And that's the top shot there from Matthew Buck to take his team along to 88, and they trail the 36ers 109.
So now Sexton again to Jones. 36ers looking to set it up. There's no need to give away easy points to Newcastle. And they are now treating this game as a percentage win. 2.5 minutes to go. The Sexton drives. Will he score? No, he misses with the shot. Highland comes out with the rebound, the smallest player on the court. Buck was free under the basket, but they chose to ignore him as Ricky Simpson goes with the long shot. It misses, Mike Mackay comes out with the rebound and gives it away to David Spear. So once again, it'll be the 36ers looking to set it up.
They'll be looking to run their offense. These guys train very hard. They train 5-6 times a week. So just because there's been wholesale substitutions, it doesn't mean that it's weakened it. But there was the baseline drive that Peter Sexton looked for. Unlucky not to regain possession, I would have thought, on that occasion. But a substitution for the Falcons as Peter Barton comes onto the floor and he replaces Ricky Simpson. And Ricky Simpson has been a very strong scoring threat for the Falcons. Unfortunately, he hasn't received the ball a lot. And I can't understand why, Andrew, because when he receives the ball around the basket, he's likely to put it in a very high percentage.
Yes, it hasn't been the best team performance we've seen from Newcastle tonight. They haven't played all that well. As Mike Mackay tries to drive all the way, not successful, but Wayne Nelson is with the rebound. Had to beat 2 players for the rebound and went straight back up and put it up. So it's the West End 36ers 111 leading Newcastle on 88, and Highland gets an intentional foul and in fact is being sent off the court. You'll see now, Highland can't believe it. Let's stay with the action for a moment. Ian Rebilliard arguing with umpire Ian Turner, but Highland just pushed Mike Mackay down on his bum. Mackay hit the ground, the floor shook, and Highland leaves the court, sent off. First time we've seen it in a home game this year.
I have to admit, Andrew, I didn't really see what happened, unless it was some sort of retaliation from Highland from the other end, as coach Steve Johansson incurs the wrath of referee Ian Turner with a technical foul. And the incoming player will be Jim Moran, and Jim Moran has been a valuable player for the Falcons. Ian Rebilliard is still pointing down there, mouthing off to Mike Mackay, who does what all teams in a winning position do, is say nothing except point to the scoreboard, just pointing out to Rebilliard that the 36ers are in front.
And now they're in front by more, and they get possession as well because it was a tech foul. So not the Newcastle side not winning too many friends here. It might have hurt them last weekend when they lost by 2 points, but it hurts even more tonight because they're getting thrashed now. And they reckon it's a pretty biased home crowd in Newcastle. Well, fellas, you ought to come down here because they can make a lot of noise down here too. And with just 57 seconds to go, Newcastle will be going home losers. The ball comes out to Barton. Barton makes the basket.
Rebilliard was determined to drive all the way to the basket there. Good defence. Good defence by Rebilliard, then forced the error. Rebilliard will go all the way and pick up a charge. There is no doubt that Rebilliard is off the planet. The previous drive wasn't necessary, and neither's this. Obviously the defence is there. Bang, there it is. Rebilliard just goes straight through Spear. It's good defence, Spear, and Rebilliard pays the penalty. A Spear hands off then to Mike Mackay, who puts up a 3-pointer just to bury it, and that takes the 36ers to 119, and they're leading the Falcons on 90.
And that shot would have hurt Ian Rebilliard even more because Mike Mackay is just telling him how easily that ball went in the basket, and Rebilliard's fallen off his tree a little bit. He's done some silly things in the last few minutes as it's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. The crowd count it down. The foul called, but the game is virtually over. 1 second remaining. Newcastle won't make 100. In fact, they'll be lucky to make anything more than 92, while the West End 36ers are on 119 with 1 second remaining. So Moran with the ball, not a lot. There's the siren. No shot this week like last week, and the West End 36ers wrap the game up. An easy win, as it turns out. A good game of basketball. The West End 36ers 119 defeat the Newcastle Falcons 92.
Steve Johansson, 1 week ago in Newcastle, a 2-point result. Tonight, 27 points. What happened?
Well, I think tiredness didn't help, but I think the part that cost us the game was the last 5 minutes of the second quarter, and we went soft, and they got that 9-point break, and we couldn't recover from it.
I noticed that in that third quarter you asked your players to come up on a full court defence, and it just didn't happen, and yet when they did come out and play some full court D in the last quarter, you forced a few turnovers.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to mental tiredness, and they just weren't prepared to put in the hard work at the time when it was asked of them.
You had a good result in Perth last night. Is it really that bad to go to Perth and play and then to front up here in Adelaide?
Well, before the weekend I thought no, but I'll say definitely it is, yes, it's very hard.
And you guys just had no answer for Jones and Davis, weren't they great?
Once again, no.
Steve Johansson, thank you very much.
Thank you, Luke.
Well, Ken, some people would say Newcastle was a team of stars tonight. Your boys just didn't let them show.
Yeah, they certainly have got a lot of talent. Watching them in the warm-ups and when the game started, I thought this team really has got a lot of talent out there. We just had to try and restrict a few of their top players.
Well, Jones and Davis on the rebounds. Once again, I know we say it every week, but absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, they did a good job. I thought Al Green did a terrific job again for us on Michael Johnson, who was always very, very difficult to handle. That first shot he made was great, and then Al did a great job on him from then on. And Mark Davis and Peter Allied did a pretty good defensive job on McDaniels, who's also very tough. So if you slow down a couple of those people, you're in good shape.
Well, just finally, Ken, talking about Al Green, tonight he scored his 4,000th point in National Basketball League. That's a great performance.
It really is, and I think he's playing better all round now than he's ever played in the league, and certainly a great role for the team. So it augurs well for the future.
Good luck next week.
Thanks very much.